Hi, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and today's project is my answer to the Elizabeth Craft Designs June Designers Challenge, which was clean and simple. So I made 3 cute cards using the Woodland Pals stamp set. Did want to mention really fast that there is a giveaway with this month's challenge, so I will have the information and the link to that in the video description. Now, very quickly, I am stamping each of the sort of scenes that I created using jet black archival ink, and then I'm just filling in any areas that didn't stamp well or that I masked off too much with my Copic liner, just to create some very simple sort of woodlandy scenes, I guess I'm going to call them. The first one was just the tree with the branch and the singing bird. The second one was the fox with the sort of multi-branch tree and then 3 leaves. And this is the grass and flower border with the rabbit. And then I will stamp the same singing bird on this one, but I'm going to mask off the legs and the singing note on that. So I just get the bird in this one without the legs and the note. And there is so much coloring in this that I have sped this up quite a bit. Otherwise we would be here for days. And so it's going to get even faster at some point. But I did want to kind of show you sort of my basic way of working with Zig Clean Color Roll Brush markers. And that is I put the color down initially just by drawing it right on the paper. And then I take water and sort of pull it out or spread it out or blend it, as the case may be. Now, I am using Bristol Smooth Cardstock, which is my absolute favorite cardstock for use with the Zigs. They blend beautifully on this cardstock. They don't run excessively. It's really, really nice base for these. So if you have any doubts about Zigs, like they don't blend well on other materials, try the Bristol because it works really well. Now my tree was a bit of a challenge. As you can see, I've gone back and forth with multiple colors. I think I wind up using 5 different colors on this tree to finally get the sort of bark look that I was going for. And then I did extend it up beyond the stamped image, as you can see, just by following the lines that were in the stamped image and then just blending it kind of over and over with the various colors, because I just thought proportionally it needed to be a little bit taller for the scene to look correct. So that's why I did that. And that's pretty much, and then I will do a sky a little bit later, and I'm only going to show you one sky on all 3 of these, because I do the sky exactly the same way on all 3 of them, so don't need to show you that 3 times. Now my fox was also a bit of a challenge, kind of like the tree. I wanted to get him like the correct red color without being too like orange or too brown. So I did wind up using 2 different shades of red and 3 different shades of brown. And then on the white fur portions, I used some oatmeal to add some like hash marks to give them some fur texture. And I apologize, I have really bad allergies and they're acting up, and so if I'm sniffing in this a lot, I'm really sorry, but I digress. Anyway, so you can see I'm kind of going back and forth, trying to get the red tone exactly correct and then add some shading here and there with the browns and then I'm kind of going in and adding some texture to see if I can get like a good blend of colors to get just that right color of his fur. And it does take a little while, but I do finally get it right. And now I'm just going to draw in the leaves, and then the tree gets some brown, which I think I only used like mid-brown and oatmeal on this tree. And then I added a little more shading on and here's my hash marks with my oatmeal, and a little more shading on the leaves to kind of finish up this guy. And I did want to mention that once everything is dry, and you do have to wait until it's entirely dry, I add in some black glaze pen on the eyes of all the animals in the scenes, just so that you really can see their eyes really well, because after all the coloring is done, they get a little bit obscured. Now my rabbit, I was going for like a gray brown, because the rabbits here in Colorado pretty brown, and they have there's a lot of coloring in their fur. So kind of like the tree and the fox's fur, I kept going back and forth with several different shades of like gray, green. There's like several shades of brown to kind of get it to the color that I was really looking for. And I did wind up adding quite a bit of texture to this rabbit with a bunch of hash marks to really get his fur to look like kind of crazy fur. But I actually really liked the rabbit in the end. He may not be super realistic looking, but I thought his fur was kind of fun with all the texture on it. And then I did give him some little pink cheeks and a little pink in his ears, so that helped too. And then the flowers, I wound up going over with a couple different shades of yellow. And then here I'm going to add in like some more shading and then a base for the fox to be sitting on, so he's not just like floating in the air. I don't want him to do that, so I'm added a little bit of gray initially, and then I added green on top of that so that it looks like he's sitting on grass. Oh, and here's my sky. So this is how I always do my sky with Zigs. I basically kind of scribble on the marker with light blue, and then I just take the water and I go over it and over it to blend it out until it's entirely in the color and blended the way I want it. And that's how I did all three skies. And those are the completed coloring. So now I'm going to add the sentiments. And for this, I used sentiments from the Dream Sentiments stamp set. I thought they went nicely with kind of the nature theme I had going. So this first one is happiness. And I am using my MISTI because, I spent all this time coloring these images. I didn't want to ruin them by stamping the sentiment badly, which Lord knows I probably would do. So the MISTI allows me to, stamp multiple times in case I screw it up. And it was a good thing I had it because I did wind up needing to stamp it twice for each of them. And I used VersaFine Onyx black ink for that. It's one of my favorites for really detailed, really crisp, like sentiment stamping. And so there you got Believe and then Explore with the rabbit. Now to give a little detailing to my scenes, I took the largest die in the Stitched Rectangles die set and I lined it up with the lower right hand corner of the Happiness and the Explore panels and ran it through to get stitching on those two sides. And then with the fox, I did it in the upper right hand corner to get stitching detail on those two sides, just to give it just the tiniest bit of little extra detail. And then I cut 3 pieces of pattern paper from the Moda Scrap Manly Man 6x6 paper pack, just for the tiniest bit of a border around my scenes. And then those card bases are A2 sized and they are made from rich black soft finish cardstock. And now I am using 10mm double-sided adhesive tape and adhering my panels down. So I'm lining the panel up with the upper left corner of that pattern paper and the left-hand side. So you only see pattern paper sticking out of the right-hand side and the lower edge. And then I'll do the same thing for the card base. So you only see the black on the right-hand side and the lower portion. I did the rabbit's the same way. And then the fox was the upper right-hand corner, gets the paper and the card. And that's the completed project. And I was pretty happy with how they came out. I love that stamp set. I think it's super cute. The little critters are so fun. And I just liked the sentiments with the kind of simple nature scenes. I thought they were, a little bit inspiring or encouraging in some way. So I hope I have inspired you a little bit today. And as always, there is a supply list linked in the video description and over on my blog. As I mentioned, there is a giveaway on the Elizabeth Craft Designs blog for this post. So I have a link to that in the video description as well. So you might want to get in on that because there's some pretty fun stuff being given away. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.